Welcome back, ladies and gentle people. We are going down into the losers bracket for our next match. Match will be Arma versus Top Bracket. These two players will be fighting to keep their hopes and dreams alive here today in the zero effort Age of Empires 4 weekly tournament number 1. So, with that out of the way, let's jump into our match and let's get going with this losers bracket match. So, spawning in as our deli will be Arma. Going to be rocking up on the top side of this map. And the opponents, as we need to resume this for everything to load correctly. There we go. Will be Top Wombat playing as the Rus. So, as a little overview of these two civilizations, the Rus, they have a hunt mechanic. They want to be able to kill as much nature around the map. Each nature they kill, they grab a bounty of gold, depending on the value of that animal. Deers are 10, wolves are 25, I think a boar is 75, sheep are 5. So that's why you can see down here, a little bit of extra gold already for that Rus player. As they reach different tiers of their capability, they'll get increased hunt gather rate. They'll have a little look over the side here. They'll grab increased villager food harvest rate and also their cabins. This is another one of the unique features of the Rus. They grab gold for every tree that is around them on the hunting cabin, and that will generate per tick. So that will be, I think, 28, 24, and 12, 18 seconds. 27, 24, and 18 seconds. And then every tick, that will be gold coming the way. And you can see at the moment, this hunting cabin is grabbing 15 gold. That is one of the main features of that Rus. They also get access to early nights, which can help, and night unique upgrades. Their opponents will be the deli. So the unique feature about the deli is that every research is free. So what you want to try and do is be able to start researching a lot of things from multiple buildings earlier. And you can see that that's why you're seeing a lot of these economic buildings come down quickly, because you want to get those research underway. You can boost that research speed by having multiple scholars garrisoned around. You need 9 scholars to get an equal research speed to any other opponent's standard research speed. But the longer the game goes on, the larger the economic benefit of having free researchers really comes into play. It allows you to tech switch faster because you don't have to get the upgrades up, because you'll more than likely have them researched. And so you got to be on your feet as an opponent against the deli, but they are really vulnerable to early aggression, which the Rus players can and love to do. And as you can see, there's going to be multiple scouts on the map from Top Wombat trying to find these hunts, be able to get that bounty up and running. You'll see the kills. So, as that is now out of the way, let's have a little talk about the map generation. So much gold has been spawned at the top of this map. You can see that there's only really 3 entrances in. If you really want to try and expand to get some of these larger gold veins, you're going to be seeing the bottom of the map probably be heavily underutilized, except for a trade route. It allows actually both sides to have a fairly safe and secure trade route. Probably more secure for the Rus, because the Rus will probably want to send a trade route out. It's going to go down to the bottom map. No one's want to try and contest, because look at how pathetic the resources are down here. There's really nothing, just a relic that you might want to try and contend against. And the scout, you don't want to lose that, as you've got so many sheep on it. 7 sheep, that is almost 2,000 food that'll be returning to Arma's base very, very shortly. And we're going to be seeing the Golden Gate landmark go up for the Rus player. This allows you to generate supplies to purchase resources at a favorable value. You pay 100 gold and you get 150 of any resource, and so you'll generate resources over time, and then you can use that to purchase those resources at that good rate. So you most likely see this for the Rus player to gather some resources up and then purchase the stone to go for that town center. You don't generally see the fortress too much in the Age 2 landmark because a lot of time Rus don't feel too pressured. Unless up against maybe a French where they're expecting those knights and you really want to try and secure one of those points. But that Golden Gate landmark allows you to get that stone to get a TC earlier, which is not as strong as a fortress, but does give you some of that little bit of firepower to protect your villages. So both teams hitting Age 2 at a relatively similar time. When I say the Dome of Faith allows the Delhi player to get scholars at a reduced rate. It's 50% cheaper, so that should be 75 gold instead of the 150 gold. And that allows you to start garrisoning them to get a faster researching rate. And we should start seeing a lot of these researchers be queued up. I'd like to see the Delhi player pull out some researchers to get onto his second mill. He's got a wood camp that's currently not researching, neither does he have his mining camp, so he's a little bit delayed on his economic upgrades, especially considering they are free and you really need to get them underway as soon as possible as a Delhi player. We have a look at the upgrades on the opponent though, the Rus. It looks like he's getting an archery range out. He's not going for a stable, not going for any of those early aggressive knights to put a little bit of a pressure onto their opponents. And you can already see there's a single spearman here from Arma that's going to be coming out to have a little bit of a scout to see what he can find across the map. And the scholars, they can capture these sites earlier on. And when you can do that at Age 2, your spearmen, they also have the unique capability for the Delhi to build walls. So you're going to see the site captured and then you're going to see it fortified with walls. And the Delhi player, sorry, the Rus player is going to be like, wait, hang on, hold on, what's happening? And he's going to come and have a little bit of a peek. He's going to get forced out. This is a fantastic spot for a town center as it now protects your small gold vein, your wood line, and puts a little bit of a pressure onto your opponent. Actually, he's got 2 gold, which is quite lucky of him. And unfortunately, it's not going to go up. It's going to be pressured off by these 2 pikemen. And now the single lone archer trying to stand back to try and do a little bit of damage has to be microed perfectly here to be able to force this line off. And well, there we go. He's going to get the TC up. That's going to force the aggression away from Top Wombat's base. And Top Wombat already keeping an eye on the other sacred sites, expecting to happen very shortly. So he's going to heal up that pikeman or the spearman. I don't know why I keep saying pikeman. And he should start seeing some walls go up. I'm a little bit surprised he brought out a villager for an outpost. We should be seeing walls protect this site. Because if he gets walls up, these archers, they're not going to be able to break on through. He's got 4 archers from Top Wombat. So if you can get that wall online, that is a sacred site secured for probably the next 3 or 4 minutes until the tech switch comes on in. Now let's have a look back at the Arma's base. Arma's still unfortunately missing out on some of these economic upgrades. Might have slipped off their mind as they were working on this forward aggression with the military. And that's going to cost them a little bit of time later in the game. I think it's been about 2 to 3 minutes since these have been researched. It looks like it's paid enough attention to throw out the survival techniques, but not getting anything else. As a little bit of aggression's coming on out. The scout should not be here at the moment. Will the scout survive? One more shot, and he does go down. The scout is down, dusted. He is no longer safe for this world, as the scouts for Top Wombat are still keeping an eye on the rest of those sacred sites. I'm not too sure what happened to those pikemen. The pikemen are escorting the scholar down. Gotta clean up any of those pesky wolves. We'll see how Top Wombat responds to this. If Top Wombat is now pushing towards the mid, the attention might not be focused over towards that scout on the other side of the map. Archers are not going to be good against this tower. He wants to try and neutralize it. It's not going to happen. The spearmen, however, they're going to get their stabby in and we'll clean up that scout. The attention for Top Wombat was put off there. We now let's have a little look at Arma. Arma does not have a second TC, doesn't look to be even thinking about grabbing any stone. So what you're now going to see is the villager lead head very far over to Wombat. You can see Wombat's got 29. Actually, a little bit strange there. That eco should change very soon with the economy pressure coming out from top Wombat. Actually, we only still got one villager being queued up. It's not quite effectively utilizing those TCs. And Arma. Gonna grab all the sacred relic sites. Remember, that is just free gold every minute. I think it's about 100 gold per minute. Might actually a little bit larger. I thought it was 100 gold per minute. So as that gold continues to tick, Skull is now finally going to be attacked by some of the wolves. The wolves have had enough. The pikemen are building their barricades, preparing for any little turnaround from the scouts from the opponent. And in the middle, you got all these archers that are grouped up this tower, forcing the opponent to counter tower this. They can see each other with their vision. They know it's going to be a tower v tower, but remember, the Rus have a better tower. I wish I could click on it, but basically they have a little bit more hit points. They're fortified towers compared to the standard outpost that most other civilizations get. And the Rus, unfortunately, do not have anywhere near enough funding to get to their tier 3 to get that additional food gathering rate. More wolves being absolutely pains around the map. And let's see if we got any upgrades on these units. So having a look at top Wombat, there is no upgrades for either the melee or for the ranged. Does look like going to be prepared for a ram. Their opponent is looking at getting another archery range, get a second archery range down, level up to the House of Learning as well. But the upgrades looking good. Got +1 in terms of the ranged, but does not have any other relics, any other upgrades. What I'd like to see from the Delhi players, throw down a second blacksmith and get these upgrades coming up faster, because you need them online. And the rams from top Wombat, the opponent, Arma sees this. If he's keeping an eye on what the opponent's doing, he knows that 2 rams are coming on in, but he's only got archers. He's only got a single spearman that can really deal with this. I'm not too sure that Ram almost decided to give up, but is going back for it. Takes another shot out. We see some spearmen that are hardened, which means they've been upgraded. They're just going to get destroyed by all the archers at the moment. No +1, however, yet on these archers as the outpost gets demolished. And that will go down shortly. I love this. It looks like top Wombat has decided to wall up the other sacred site to make sure that no scholars from the Delhi can sneak on in there and grab that to try and pressure for that sacred site victory. But all these archers, they're going to get taken from uphill, this uphill advantage with the vision, the kills, with the rams now coming to back it on up. They have to be careful though, because they don't want to go too far in, because we see our first tower war elephant now online. 960 hit points, some spearmen. Gotta be careful though, these are not what you want to lead the charge. If these are microed correctly, these archers could clean up all these spearmen, and that's what's going to happen. They turn around, they do not care for those spearmen. The spearmen, all they did was take shots. All 6 of them die, leaving the entire tower elephant with 4 ranged armor to start working his wonders. And the pushback from the Delhi against top Wombat has now started. He protects the sacred site, he keeps it a little bit longer, and that passive gold still in favor of Arma, with the second elephant on its way. Ooh, Arma barely able to defend that. These war elephants, remember, they have huge siege damage. They have 100 siege damage, so they're almost the same as a ram, but they got more health, they got more damage capabilities, because these archers on top of the elephants will kill you, and they're just running forward. They don't care, they're not worried. They're picking off archers that are trying to make their way to the tower. He finds himself a few cheap kills, and he's just causing issues for his opponent. What I'd like to possibly see is these archers just come and reinforce this a little bit, maybe cause some havoc on this wood line if required. They're just going to burn this up. You need these archers here and prepared for when this tower falls. He's got to be careful though. He doesn't have any scholars up at the front line to heal this war elephant. And we're going to see the castle age has now been reached by top Wombat. And now the TC is starting to take effect, doing a lot of damage here to this The Warfield's going to be marked away, and they're going to chase away all of these archers, and more archers are coming on in. The Delhi are overwhelming the Rus at the moment. The archers putting on so much pressure, killing the eco line of Top Wombat. The advantage that Top Wombat had with the 2 TCs out early is now starting to fall as the archers from Arma are starting to ruin the opponent, and we see the GG come on out. The strength of the Delhi overwhelming the Rus, capturing those early sacred sites and now pushing away the rest of their opponents. So congratulations to Arma. Arma continues his way through the lower bracket. Unfortunately for Top Wombat goes down to the strength of the Delhi. And you can kind of see this here. The villager count from Top Wombat got that second TC online and started to pump them out, grabbing that economic lead and grabbing the advantage. However, wasn't able to keep up with the military. And with those war elephants, please, Age of Empires, with those war elephants coming on out, so much effective hit points because of the armor and the health, just allowed to tank so much damage, pushed through and destroyed. So one of those great things you saw with the war elephants there is they can tank the towers, and the archers on top will kill units. They won't be distracted by the tower. They will clean up anyone else trying to defend it, and you can really push that advantage and then kind of take away if you win. So Arma will be moving to round 2 in the lower bracket, and for us, that means we will be looking for more matches coming up shortly. So stay tuned as more zero effort Oceanic Age of Empire 4 action coming up shortly.